I have to go on my cell phone, which is really crazy. All right, guys, you are live with Joan of Angels. And yes, we're going to have quite a night tonight. It is from chaos to calm. It's already started. Here we go. All right, guys, you are live with Joan of Angels, who actually cannot figure out anymore how to get us in here. So let's see if I can get Claudia in there. Claudia. No, I can't get Claudia in here either. Can't get myself in here either. But I'll tell you what, we are resourceful. And hopefully that when we call in all those saints, we're going to get it going on. All right, so from chaos to calm, and I'm not calm. Why am I not calm? Well, because Joan of Angels cannot get rid of this background. Holy moly, macaroni cheese. Okay, so while I'm about to go calm, and whether you can see me or not, I don't know. I'm looking really good tonight, just in case you were hoping you could see me, everyone. And I did. I made sure I had my makeup on, my everything on, just so I could look just like who I am. So we're just going to start, and I'm going to be a little bit calmer than normal. We have a wonderful guest on. We can't see her, and I screwed up. I'm sure that I did this. There was something that I did in my confidence here. I had so much confidence in the way I can manage this that I unmanaged it. And I can't get it off. So you're just going to have to love on me anyway. I can see your comments. And I'm going to start with your comments. Yes. Oh, I wonder if I can get your comments on. Yes. Okay. I know you're there. I can get comments. Look, Patricia's here. We have Tina Marie here. Thank God you're here, because I can't even see myself except in the back room here. Kat Lynn is here. Canella is here. I'm going to tell you a miracle story about Canella as I start to talk about from chaos to calm. Canella is the queen of dental miracles. And if any of you have any dental anxiety, you reach out to Canella, because she's an expert at this. And she went with me to the dentist the other day, and I had a meltdown. The anxiety was so high, Deb, that I actually melted down. I screamed from pain, and I melted down. And Canella came in the room when I called for her, and she calmed me down with deep meditation, deep soothing. And I was crying in the doctor's chair. So, and I was praying for a miracle. So I see we have Sandra from Carolina here. And it really is too bad you guys can't see my gorgeous face, because I was in such an excited mood, and anyway, but here's what I was going to start with tonight. All right. I was going to start with a little meditation, and I guess I'm the one who needs it. All right. So in this exquisite meditation we're about to do, all right, I'm going to put Kat Lynn's beautiful hearts there. I have my bowl here, and we're going to just do a little meditation. That's right. Good. All right. So how do I go from chaos to calm? And I'm thinking you can see me, but of course you can't. But when we go from chaos to calm, when I go from chaos to calm, I do a centering process, and I may take out my bowl. And when I take out my Tibetan bowl, I think we can hear you in the back room, my dear friend, Claudia. So when we work with this bowl, it changes the energetic frequency around us. And as it changes the energetic frequency, this is also a crown chakra bowl. Take a deep breath in and let it all out. And again, taking a deep breath in and letting it all out. Mother, Father, God, we ask just now that we be filled, surrounded, and protected with the light. We ask for clarity. We ask for wisdom, understanding, compassion, guidance, and love. We ask that tonight we receive the wisdom to understand the clues, to go from chaos to calm, to be able to adapt to any situation, any unexpected turns and twists in the road, anything that might come at us that might cause what at some point might be a breakdown. But for those of us, it is fuel to step into our best self. So, dearest angels, we ask right now for understanding, for wisdom and guidance as we step in and shift our energies from chaos to calm. And guys, I'm so excited that you're here. I see all my friends on the line. I see old friends and new friends. And I want to welcome you all. If you haven't been here, this is the Miracle Makers Club. And yes, I am Joan of Angels. I can't even show you my picture right now, but I am there. Oh, yes, I'm on the angelic realms, of course. Yes, tonight's show is brought to you from the fifth dimension. I figured it out, finally. Okay, the Miracle Makers Club, guys, was founded in 2000, actually in 1998 with my two children when we lost everything. And we were in quite a disturbed situation. We camped out at my sister's. We were virtually homeless. And we decided at that time, we made up our mind that we were going to step into miracles, that we were going to live a miraculous life, even if it looked like we had no money, no home, no anything. And so when we designed and created this Miracle Makers Club, it was because we knew we needed a miracle. And here we are, 2021, and now more than ever, we need a miracle. Each and every one of us needs miracles. I know so many of you personally need miracles, exude miracles, are asking for guidance along this path. And so the path that I'm like delighted after all these years to be bringing out the Miracle Makers Club, a club whose time has come. Because why? Because when we shift our vibrations and we work in a higher vibration, that's why we're coming to you tonight from the fifth dimension. But when we come and we do this work, we open the doorway for synchronicities, miracles, excitement, passion, and remembering who we are. We raise our vibrational frequency. And when we raise our vibrational frequencies, we can receive messages from our guides, from our angels, and we get clarity on our mission, purpose, and direction. So guys, before I bring in our guest, I want to just point your attention to the bottom here where it says join the Miracle Makers Club, experience your life transform. And that is true. When we start to take the challenge of the 5-day miracle challenge, we remember our purpose. We learn how to raise our vibration. We learn how to call in what we are asking for that does pave the way for miracles. So I love you all. And I want to introduce you now. And you can't see her. She's gorgeous. Well, maybe, who knows? Maybe they'll let me bring her on. Just doesn't seem like this is kind of crazy. But I didn't want to abort the program because she has very exciting things. So most of you have stayed on. And so bringing on now Claudia, who is a moon astrologer. She has a lot of beautiful things at her fingertips. She was just explaining to me the energy of the stars. It was her idea to really talk about the chaos into calm through planetary alignment. So Claudia, can we hear from you?
Yes. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but you know what, guys? Can you hear Claudia? I actually need to have an answer to that question because I hear her, but we're as I was saying, we're really not on the screen. So, can you hear her? Can one of my friends on there text in the comments so I could tell if we can hear our dear friend Claudia, who has a lot to share? Okay, yes, we can hear you. All right. Okay, perfect. And this is quite amazing. Get your friends on because you know what? We are on audio and we are raising the vibrations from the other realms. So, Claudia, why don't you tell our audience a little bit about yourself? Short little intro.
Well, my journey has taken me from Hollywood to the moon. And I realized 30 years ago that I wanted a great life rather than a great resume, or as well as, and that my life was out of rhythm, that I was in a go, go, go kind of world with a cultural construct. And I wanted to dance to the rhythms of my soul and know what an all round, healthy, wealthy life was. And so I moved to a small town in Northern California. And the result of that was that I became a lunar astrologer. I've been studying astrology for over 50 years now. It's hard for me to believe. But at that time, this was 22 years ago. I had a radio show called Star Talk in Northern California, and I converted to a lunar astrologer. And I had the first website on the moon with a partner, except for NASA. And I developed a system whereby you can harness the energies of the moon, the energies of all growth and creation and manifestation on planet Earth to use in your own life, so that you too live a life of balance and ebb and flow rather than go, go, go. So I'm a consultant, an author, a speaker. If you saw the blurb, you know all that. And I combine the energies of my past life as an Emmy Award-winning makeup artist and hair designer with the wisdom and the ancient wisdom and current movements of the stars and the moon, so that you can step out and shine like the star that you were born to be, aligned with your soul's purpose, with the right timing for everything. And that's what the moon guides you to, the right timing for everything.
I love that. I have to take a deep breath. So, Claudia, look, now more people are on since they can see us. Hi, everyone. I'm so happy to see you. I see you through my eyes and through Claudia's eyes. So I wanted to say,
I can see you, Joan. We are on, I think.
Yes, we are on live now. Okay.
Perfect. So can you hear me if I take my earbuds out, or am I better with my earbuds in?
Well, I hear some kind of crackling noise.
What?
Okay, that's much better.
All right. Okay.
Okay, whatever you had was making a lot of crackling noise. When you listen to the replay, you'll hear it. So This is much better. Good. So I'm so happy just to see you, to be live with you. Let's talk a little bit about certain things. You know, you said from chaos to calm, and I do feel that this time feels chaotic, you know, with everything going on, with the rules changing, this and that. There's a chaos everywhere, and I can't wait to get home sometimes because of the calm. But I know you said that it's in the stars and in the planets. So why don't we start there? And guys, if you have questions, you can put them in the comments and we'll read them off also.
Okay, so I want to mention first, because my context is always the moon, that we are now in the last phase of the moon, the depth of the dark, the balsamic phase. We're building up to a new moon on February 11th, and I'll be talking a bit about that. But we are now under a moon in Capricorn. And this takes us back to the 12th of January, when the moon was new in Capricorn. And that new moon was exactly united with Pluto. So it's all about power and transformation and eliminating that which no longer serves us. So your intentions were set around a powerful plan. And now you're getting to look at how well you're doing with that and the wisdom you've gained and what you're ready to let go of so that you can make way for fertile ground to plant in at the time of the new moon. February is the month of Aquarius and Pisces. The sun moved into Aquarius in late January, and on February 19th, it will move into Pisces. And this provides a big clue to the navigation of this chaotic time that we're in. I wish I could tell you that the chaos is going to cease, but I'm hoping that I give you some clues that are that you can carry with you as this year keeps going. However, as we move into March, it is going to calm down. So why is it not so calm this month?
Right.
Well, we have a few things, a few reasons for that. It's always good to be able to blame it on the stars, I think, a little bit. So on the 2nd of February, which is actually Candlemas rather than Groundhog Day in the old goddess tradition, we enter the crescent phase of the year. That's midway between winter and spring. And we celebrate the fact that we can see the growth of that which we planted in the depth of the dark at the solstice, which is the true natural new year. And we've had Venus on that day move into Aquarius. So that's one of the planets that's going to be in this new moon lineup. The god of chaos, as it is called, is squaring Aquarius in Taurus. And we have Mercury retrograde. It has been retrograde since since early February, and it will remain so until the 21st. So on the 2nd, it became retrograde, and on the 21st, it's going to move in direct motion with a 2-week shadow period to follow. Mercury is retrograde in Aquarius, as I mentioned. Uranus is the higher octave of Mercury. So Uranus rules the higher mind. Here's a clue. This is your first clue. Move to welcome the divine messenger aspect. Open your higher communication center. Be willing to devote time to that. And when you breathe, because Aquarius is an air sign, this is a lot of mentally oriented energy going on. Mercury has to do with how we think, transportation, all forms of communication. So being grounded, being present when you drive is really important. Uranus also, it rules chaos, awakening, radical innovation, electricity. And so it rules sudden change, and it also rules accidents. So it's very, very important to be present as you drive, along with the Mercury factor, Mercury retrograde. So this is creating chaos, as you saw earlier this evening, till we called our angels in.
Right, till we break it down. It was like chaotic.
Right.
It was like we did the show. Right.
And with Venus in Aquarius, and then Neptune in Pisces. Neptune is the higher octave of Venus. Love is always the key. It's always the answer. So what I did is I called my guides in and surrendered all outcomes regarding this to a higher source. I breathed in, and we're going to go back to this breath in a moment, but I plant my feet. I take a breath in, and as it moves up through my body, as I exhale, I drop my consciousness. I drop my thoughts into my heart. When you are in your heart, you are present. You cannot be anywhere else when you are living and coming from your heart. So we've got a higher love going on in the middle of this chaos, and chaos always precedes breakthrough. That old phrase, breakdown precedes breakthrough. It's very appropriate now. Also, if you look at, for instance, let's take the birth process, the process of conception to a baby. It's very chaotic as everything comes together. It's very feminine. And this is what we're being asked to learn to navigate and experience, because we're always taught that there's a rule book somewhere. Life is linear. And we know with our wisdom that that's not true, but how do we live that? This is all brand new. So remember to cut yourself a whole bunch of slack, keep a deep pocket full of patience handy, and a sense of humor handy. At the full moon, you were asked to look into your heart's desires. And there's still a video that I did on the full moon about that, if you want to look for that at Moon Powered Astrology.
Where would they find that, Claudia?
That's on Facebook at Moon Powered Astrology.
Is that one word or two words?
I think they can put it in the old way. I think they can put moon and powered separately or all together. They'll still get there. But it's the ED on the end of power. It's Moon Powered Astrology. So at that time, we were asked to look at our heart's desires. And Aquarius takes everything bigger. It's like that plan that we made in Capricorn is very personal. But when it comes into Aquarius, it says, make it bigger, bigger vision. So this is another way for you to navigate the chaos. What's your bigger vision? Now, where is this god of chaos? Where is he visiting right now? He's visiting in the sign of Taurus. And Taurus is ruled by Venus. So again,
how do you know he's in the sign of Taurus, like this god of chaos? What do you?
Oh yeah. So we're being asked to wake up to the fact that our bodies, this environment that we live in, is not separate from the earth or nature. So ground yourself every day, even if it just means that you walk outside. I walk outside first thing in the morning and look at San Jacinto, where I live. I live up above 2,800 feet above the valley that San Jacinto overlooks. But it grounds me. So putting your feet on the earth, taking walks in nature where you're not on a fake surface or concrete where the earth has trouble sending and receiving messages, but find some earth to stand on. Feel yourself like a grounding rod, because as I mentioned, Uranus rules electricity. So ground yourself, because you know what ungrounded electricity is like. Uranus also rules lightning. This is the way your ahas and breakthroughs, the high side of what the chaos wants to produce, comes through. You ground yourself so that these ahas, like lightning, can come through. So you don't want to lose them, but they're all teaching us something. All this chaos is teaching us something, because we indeed are in a time of collapse. And the surface has only been scratched. I know that's not a very comfortable feeling when I say that, but most of you are at a frequency where you know this is true. And that's the key, to raise your frequency every day, to remember this is a movie. It's as though you were watching a movie about chaos. And the god of chaos is creating all of this technicolor stuff for you to watch and experience. But you can move away from the movie and be the eagle watching the movie. So that's another clue for you. So the Mercury has two faces: the trickster, which we experienced earlier, and the divine messenger. So that's why if you ask to connect to the divine messenger, it's very helpful. And know that the trickster is afoot. And oftentimes that's just all it is. It's a trick. But in Aquarius rules the internet. So technological snafus may be rampant.
With Mercury retrograde, you're saying?
Yes, with Mercury retrograde, absolutely. So Mercury went into retrograde motion at 25 degrees, and it's going to go back to 11 degrees, in case there are those of you out there who want to look at their own chart or know how to see what area that occupies.
And you said that it's in Aquarius?
Yes, yes.
Got it. So we are living in the age of Aquarius then.
Yes.
We are entering it.
We have entered it. We did.
Full speed ahead.
It was kind of official on the solstice, and everything has speeded up now. We have moved out of the 200 years of Saturn and Jupiter moving through signs in Earth, which brought us to an extreme focus on material acquisition. And now it has moved into air. And it is time. We're going to see technological breakthroughs that we couldn't even imagine. And it's very important. Taurus says, be in touch with what you truly need to be who you are. Wake up to that. And wake up to what your true values are. Not what the culture says they should be, or what all the marketing says you ought to believe and go after, but what your true values are. And one of the values under Mercury retrograde in Aquarius is friends and community, because Mercury retrogrades are they internalize the energy, first of all. So you want to dot your I's and cross your T's. And if you have an appointment, make sure that you are in touch with that person right up until you get in the car or you call them on the phone, whichever it is, because what people think doesn't necessarily come out the way that they think it has. Also, because Aquarius rules friends and community, the really good side of the review, rethink, redo, reconnect with friends. That's really, really supported by this retrogradation. And also, by the way, this whole year we have 3 Mercury retrograde periods every year, and all of these are going to be in air. So we're going to have Libra, Gemini. So it's really good if you learn to navigate this one. You will be prepared for the next one. So stay on your eagle's perch. And so this is kind of the first. This takes us up to the new moon. So
Hey,
you have questions so far?
Well, I'm a little. When it comes to astrology, I studied astrology years ago, but then, you had to do the ephemeris and you had to really every detail. And I never took it up again after we went to internet, when it became very fast to get everything. Meaning that some of it I still can't break down. I always need it to settle in. But I do get the gist of it, especially that we're in the age of Aquarius, that things are changing. It's a mental time, if I can understand this, and sudden changes.
Well, we're creating a new world. And so, as I mentioned earlier, creativity comes out of a process of chaos. So that's why I said it's not that it's going to end. It's just that you're going to raise your frequency and navigate it with more alacrity.
Well, I love that. I love that. Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
One
of the things that makes it so poignant for those of us in the United States is that the United States was born July 4th under a moon in Aquarius. And so what we have now, as is we have this desire for freedom. It's also why we are always helping everyone in the world and forgetting to come back home to take care of, and so, we're trying to balance that. That's something that we're trying to balance, because there's always a dance of adjustment going on between the sun sign of the United States, Cancer, and the moon sign. So that's also part of the chaos, because the sun sign calls for emotional security and family. And the sun sign and the moon sign, Aquarius, says, "Oh, I just have a vision. I'm about humanity. I'm big." And I don't know how many of you have seen the image in the tarot of the water bearer. And people often ask me, "Well, isn't Aquarius a water sign?" No. What that water bearer is doing, it's the star card in the tarot deck. It is pouring a new consciousness onto the earth. And that's what we are all doing. It's not easy. Our brain grooves are really deep. We've got a lot of cultural support for staying in the past. But we are awakening to a new consciousness. We are awakening to being a new human. And those who don't want to go through this time of chaotic uncomfortableness, if that's a word, are leaving the planet. Now, some are working on the other side. Others have just had enough, So we have to have great compassion for them and for those of us who stay, those of us who are doing the work. Now, sorry, go ahead.
No. I can tell you have a whole lot of things here. So keep going.
I was going to say on this Thursday at 11:05 a.m. Pacific Coast time, we're going to have a new moon in the sign of Aquarius. It's interesting because it's at the same degree as the new moon in Capricorn was, but this has a very different setup. At the time of this new moon, we are going to have Jupiter and Venus conjunct. It is about as lovely as it gets. Jupiter is expansion. Jupiter really loves it when we spiritually expand, but it is also good fortune. And it reminds you that whatever you focus on will expand. Venus, of course, we think of as the goddess of love. but it also has to do with receptivity. So are you ready to receive? Do you know how to receive? Do you know how to become a magnet for what you want to receive? 6 planets will be in Aquarius at that time. What are they? Sun, Moon, Venus, Mercury, Jupiter, and Saturn. And so you have wonderful energy to set your intention. So briefly, first of all, this cycle, last cycle, powerful plan, this cycle, vision. What's my vision? Not just for myself, but for the world. What kind of world do I want to be living in? And so you write an intention. I usually say to write health, relationship, business, family. You know, you don't want to write more than 3 or 4 because you want it to be concise. So it's not your to-do list. It's not all the actions you're going to take to make them reality. You're going to do the thing that really makes them reality. Write it down, then sit and get a picture of what that looks like. What does it look like to have that vision, your vision of the world and your place in that vision manifest right now? What does that look like? Colors, smells, people, whatever comes around, take note. Then make sure you've taken a breath, dropped into your solar plexus, your heart, your areas of manifestation. Your feet are on the floor. You're breathing and letting it come and go. And you step into that picture. And you feel with every fiber of your being how it feels to be in that vision, in that intention manifested right now. Feeling is the key. Feeling creates. By the way, facts don't create. Feelings create. So feeling is the key. And then you commit to how you can walk that vision daily. Now, here's the high side of the chaos. Uranus is radical, revolutionary. And so it can seem radical to walk that vision of peace and love and equality and everyone having enough and community that supports each other and all of those things. But look at how you can live that right now. Now, what you've done is you've raised your frequency to that of your intention manifested right now. So if you can get yourself into the habit of when those beautiful eyes of yours pop open in the morning, those windows to the soul pop open in the morning, to drop, to feel your breath and move back into that feeling and energize that feeling every day so that when you get out of bed, you're in that reality. You are creating that reality. And that's who you people listening are. You're the way showers. You're the visionaries. You're the innovators, the humanitarians. And that's where Venus and Neptune say, broaden your love.
What happened to your cell phone? Uh-oh, we just lost Claudia. I'm sure she's going to come back. She was on.
No, I'm sorry. It was my birthday yesterday, so people are checking in still. So anyway, yeah. So you want to vibrate at the frequency of what you want to manifest, and it's tricky, but you will manifest so much more quickly if you start to do what I call feelization. You will realize what you feelize. So then you move through the phases of the moon. And I will tell you, if you will private message me at Moon Powered Astrology or email me at Claudia@moonpoweredastrology.com and put miracles and moon phases in the subject line, I will send you a template so that you can start to activate the moon's phases and harness the energy of the universe. Because the moon dances with every planet. So all you have to do is reach for the moon. I'm telling you a lot of information about signs and planets, but you don't have to know all that. That's up to me, right? So on the 27th, we get this new moon going. We get ourselves into that frequency where we can navigate the chaos because we've got a vision and we know that chaos is helping us with the creation of it. Then on the 27th, we have Saturn square Uranus exactly. What does that mean? Well, right now we're in a time where the old structures, the old systems of control are breaking down. But a new structure is being born, and that's Saturn. Uranus, we've been talking about. And Uranus is farther out than Saturn So guess which planet wins? That planet of radical innovation and thinking out of the box. And that's what you're being asked to do right now. Think out of the old box. So they square each other, and this is big. This is one of the main points of chaos going on this month, because it is that electricity going to the old structures of control and limitation. And that's what we're breaking through. So it's not comfortable, because Saturn is our current reality and Uranus is the radical vision. So when we move past that, then of course we're coming up to, to 2 days later, the sun moves into Pisces. Now, the thing to remember about Pisces has been lived through in our culture. It's represented suffering. It's also is where we slip the surly bonds of earth and unite with the divine. So it rules all forms of illusion and magic. So remember that magic is afoot with all of this. When you can suspend your current reality, which was created yesterday, right? And move into those feelings of what you're creating, magic occurs, alchemy can occur. So that's the higher love that comes, is source moving through us. So it asks that we blend being receptive and projecting love, emanating it, remembering that that's what we truly are made of, and then call in the magic of Neptune. So that's going to be afoot big time in the latter part of the month. It's there right now. Neptune only goes into Pisces, which it rules, every 162 years or so. This is big stuff.
Wait a minute. Neptune is going into Pisces.
It's there.
Now, Pisces. How does that impact us Pisces?
Well, it's at 19 degrees, so it's been there for a while. It's been there since, since around, I think, 2011. So how does that impact you? Well, it rules fog and confusion, but it also rules all those incredible artistic abilities. It's the most emotionally sensitive energy of the zodiac. And so with Neptune, it makes that ability to channel, to be telepathic, which also we're going to find we have this chaos of Uranus also encourages telepathy.
Aha. Okay, because it rules the mind. And
so the visionary having visions, you might look at it that way.
Well, I love that. So, but I'm getting a lot of comments here because you've been talking a lot about feelings, that you feel the feelings. What about your thoughts? How does that get impacted by the planets, by this astrology?
Well, we are in the time of an air sign and an age of an air sign. For, an age lasts around 2,000, 2,600 years.
Right.
So we're talking about learning to use our mind aright. We've heard the word righteousness. Every day when I call the directions, I ask to use my mind in right useness. And I have a lot of planets in Aquarius, so I have a lot of mental energy. And so if we are now asked to meld mind and heart. So that, and that's why I talk about the heart breath, because oftentimes it's a lovely concept, but we don't really know what it's like to really live from our heart. And they have discovered that the heart is a brain. So when you hear the phrase, think with your heart, that's asking you to engage. It's asking you to engage head to heart. So meditation is so important during this time. Being able to suspend your thoughts, being able to allow the divine source to guide your thoughts. Meditation, people think that it's the cessation of all thought and noise. No, it's the allowing of the thoughts to come and go like clouds in the sky, as opposed to getting hooked on them or OCD about them. And if you take a breath and you drop, you'll find that then you're able to have the thoughts come forth that are going to be of the greatest benefit. And that's what you want to ask for. Use my mind aright, source, for the highest good and my greatest joy. So if you will do that continually, so that your mind is what's that old phrase? The mind makes a good servant, but a lousy master. So that's what you want to aim for with your thoughts. Breathing. We are a society that does not breathe. So take a breath with me right now, because the breath is not air only. It's prana. It's literal life force. You are literally breathing in the source of life when you take a breath. It's delicious. It's a luxury to be able to breathe. And we know that in this time particularly, the breath is so vitally important. So if you are doing pranic breathing, I encourage you to look that up and to do the harmonic breath, if nothing else, to be aware, be more mindful of your breath every day. And if you breathe, and I don't know if you've noticed, but as I have been speaking with all of you, I have stopped and breathed down into my heart a few times, because it's easy for me to get up here, be ahead in space, rather than and be in the world of facts. But I know that feelings create. So if your thought and feelings can be aligned so that you're aware, because your feelings have to do with your subconscious. So oftentimes you're not aware of what is supporting or not supporting those thoughts. So I hope that helped.
Oh my God, yes. This really, really does help. All right, we have just a couple of minutes left, but I have a quick question for you. You were saying that the energy now is very much, or the planetary energy is very much like it was in 1962. Could you give us and I found it really fascinating, guys. And so I thought I'd have you address that for a minute.
Okay, protests. It ushered in a time of peace, love, community, in other words. And so we are back into the time of protests, underscored by energy going on in Aries, which we are not talking about right now. But so it was that time. And of course, here's the challenge. For those of us that were back there in the 60s, we knew what we were against, but we really didn't have a plan and walk a vision of what we were for. It was dropping out.
Love. Well, we were in love.
But it was about dropping out.
Make love, not war.
And it said dropping out and tuning in. Okay. But then what happened was the powers that be that weren't on that path went ahead and put their agenda forward. Now we have an opportunity again to tune in, but not to drop out, to tune in and align ourselves with the purpose of this time. And on the 12th of February, we're going to have Chinese New Year, which is always aligned with the new moon. So that's going to be the year of the ox. And the year it's so beautiful because it supports what's going on now. It's about strength and reliability and fairness and conscientiousness and inspiring confidence in others. And this is the thing. It's like, is it all about us? In 2012, we moved into an awareness of oneness. That's what that time was about. And it said, we are now to look at not allowing the external authority, kings, queens, governments, to be responsible totally for our freedom, but to take responsibility for freedom ourselves and be our own inner authority.
That's huge.
Yeah, and let that inner authority be the highest source. There's an inpouring of light and energy coming onto the planet right now, that hasn't happened in 12,000 years. So that's where we are. You Atlanteans out there.
And we're in a 5-year, which is freedom.
Yes, so, change and freedom. So but it also guides us back to the 4. We process the 4. In other words, we look back and get to go through some experiences that show us our old mistakes, so that we can see what really no longer works, the brain grooves that we need to shift. And I just want to mention, with all this Aquarius energy, one of your health intentions in your plan for the year, there are 2 areas. Vascular, because Aquarius has to do with circulation. So look at what you can do to support that. And the other is with Saturn. Saturn also rules Aquarius along with Uranus. And so the teeth, the bones, and the skin. Address all of those things and practice sacred self-care. I just wanted to mention one last calming technique, and that is to put your feet on the floor to allow the breath to rise from the soles of your feet all the way up. Let it go around and then down and out. And now the next breath, breathe into your heart. And breathe, let the breath move out of your third eye. And do that 3 times. In through your heart and out through your third eye. 1, 2, 3. And then on the next one, breathe in through your third eye and out through your heart. And in through your third eye and out through your heart. And one last, in through your third eye and out through your heart. And now just breathe in and out of your heart, letting your mind grow more and more calm and surrender to your heart. And you know, your parasympathetic nervous system is really being run a merry chase right now. But if you take a breath into the count of 4 and release as if you're blowing through a straw to the count of 8, you will calm your parasympathetic nervous system. Now your adrenals aren't involved in that. So that's where watching your mind, affirming that you're safe, and as the angels always tell us, all is well. Valentine's Day is coming up. I love you all so much.
Anything? So Claudia, how can everyone reach you? I heard you say that they could contact you too.
Yes, you can message me. You can private message me on Facebook, Moon-Powered Astrology. You can email me at claudia@moonpoweredastrology.com. And I am offering free chats for those of you who are interested in doing some vision mapping, harnessing the heavens, and putting yourself in the driver's seat regarding your vision in 2021.
Ooh, I love that. Oh my God. Thank you so much, lovely.
Oh,
I love
thank
you.
you,
I'm
Joan.
so happy to see you. Happy
I love you.
Happy Aquarian month. I guess all things Aquarian. All I've been hearing through the show, and Tina Marie said the same thing, all I'm hearing is the song, The Age of Aquarius. So I'm just like harmony and understanding, sympathy, symphony and lots of love. But that it was the same age in the era of the early 60s, I find very fascinating.
Yes.
And behind the scenes, we had mentioned the Civil War and the American Revolution, but
Yes.
I bring you back on again and discuss it in more detail. Have a fantastic night, Claudia. I love you so much. Thank you.
I love you
with
too.
us.
Thank
Oh my
you
God.
so much.
All right. All right, guys. I hear you clapping. All right. I swear, I hear it. I hear it. I hear you clapping. She was wonderful. I feel like I have all sorts of interesting tidbits in my head besides the song of Aquarius. But kind of, this is my time. And I don't know about you guys, but I really believe what she's saying, that I have been energizing, creating, feeling, expanding my own vision of how I help people on the planet, to expand my reach, to take Joan of Angels, to take peace, love, and miracles around the globe. And I have been expanding this image from the inside out. And I've been very conscious since with 2021 that this is the time we have been waiting for. This is the time that many of us have been called to be here. This is our time. The chaos, the pandemic, all that is to unfold. We signed a contract on that dotted line that says yes in the 20s. I was going to say the roaring 20s, but that was in 1920. So in the 2020s, I committed to be here because the upheaval that was happening, this great awakening, which, as Claudia says, some souls won't make that transition, others will. It's all about our path. But if you're part of that awakening, guys, and I kind of loved how we began the show in the 5th dimension, but if you are part of that awakening, then let's take this to heart. Let's, this new moon, really re-embrace our intentions. What is our intention? So yes, my big vision is one thing, to take Joan of Angels, to spread global miracles, to spread miracles like planting seeds around the globe. So what is my intention? My intention is to is to follow a practice that allows my vibration, my body, mind, and spirit to match that. So setting our intention says we're going to set our lifestyle, our mind style, our heart style to align with our big picture, so that we know how we're going to feel. We know the processes we're going to use to create that calmness. Notice when I couldn't get on, you couldn't see us, I took out my bowl and I started with my, dropping in, letting go what doesn't serve, calming down. So we have all of these tools. These are what are our intentions? What are we committing to do on this process? Because we have to have skin in the game. Spirit, source, God, angels, they're not going to give us what we state unless we state it with a passion, with an intention, so that it literally goes out into the universe as something concrete. Thoughts are concrete things. They have an impact. We get results based on our thoughts. So we want to align our body, mind, and spirit. We want to align our intentions. And then once we do our intentions, I love it, on the full moon, it's our big vision. You hear that, guys? What kind of vision is it? I'm hearing you. It is your big visions. The why, the what is it you want to be, to do, to have, not just this year, but who are you? How do you want to emerge? So when I say, I'm the founder of the Miracle Makers Club and I'm bringing the Miracle Makers Club out, why? Because I know that together, collaboratively, we can, each of us, personally raise our vibrations to manifest an outrageous life, a happier life, a more fulfilling life. But when we start to do this personally, then we can turn around and love on the people who've been waiting for us to wake up, okay? So that when we get our groove on, when we know who we are, when we've manifested that purpose, then we turn around and we love on them. Now, in 2013, when I started painting angels, I didn't give many of you the backstory of that, but I was really miserable. I had lost everything for the second time. Losing everything once was enough. I lost it all for the second time. I was beyond mortification and beyond redemption, I think. And I went to a friend's house where I moved in, and the woman I met had read my book. She said, "Oh, you're the famous Dr. Joan Hangarter. You are the author of the Miracle Makers Club, the founder of the Miracle Makers Club." And then she said, now, the backstory is that I'd lost everything a second time. I was now questioning who I am and what I'm here to do and my sanity. And she looked at me and she said, "I expected a miracle maker. I expected a visionary. You're not that." And it was true. I had lost that faith, confidence, and belief in myself until that night when I got on my hands and knees and I said, show me what I'm here to do. Show me, give me the answer of how I am to serve. So if you don't know your mission, that's all you have to do is say, show me how I am to serve. And on Halloween evening, 2013, I heard that voice, that call, paint 33 angels in 30 days. And what was the first thing I said? The human mind says, well, that's too much. Oh my God, you're asking a lot of me. Now, you got to get this. I was in the worst of ways. I had just been told by a woman who later became a dear friend of mine that I no longer manifested miracles. I was like a disgrace. Well, I felt, I'm adding a little drama to Heather's comments. But when I heard that, and at first I wanted to protest, like, oh my God, that's so much. Can I commit? And then it's like, what are your intentions? And I'm saying this to you. What are your intentions? What is that big vision, your big why? Because when I heard that call for 33 angels in 30 days, I listened. And when I listened and I painted, and they said to me, your call for assistance has been heard. And then the next clue they said, because the books fell open, you're to be one of the chosen ones, you must choose. And there you have it, you must choose. So this next month, entering the age of Aquarius, wow, she said something like 2,000 years. This is an awesome period we are in. American Revolution, Civil War, the age and the beginning of the hippie generation. Okay, you know, the baby boomers who were rebelling in the 60s. Yes. So this call for freedom. So I encourage you all. Freedom comes from following that call that you've had, that call for miracles, that call to live your destiny and your path. I love you all so much. I'm going to post this for Claudia because she's still here. Look at that compliment, Claudia. So, my friends, when we walk the miracle path, we tune in, we align, we ask, what are we here to do? What is our purpose? What is our why? And that's the privilege of this. So guys, I want to tell you again a little bit about what I've been doing with the Untamed Club, which I find very exciting, by the way. So in the Untamed Club, in my Miracle Makers Club, which I'm doing after all these years, I have the mastermind meditations in there. I have the weekly miracle report, which reminds me, I was going to show you a little clip, a sample of the weekly miracle report. Yes, I will.
Okay,
Here it
what else
goes.
do they have to say? Okay, what else do they have to say?
Masters of Miracles, yes, telling us that the Arcturian is here, energetic upgrade. So he is a star being from the stars, and the Arcturians are the very, very wise, very conscious beings. Divine healing pours through you now. Surrender and receive those gifts. So let's enhance that divine healing. And when we rub our hands together very fast, we generate that energy between our hands. We can send it out. Or we can receive. So sending it out with the right and receiving with our left. Divine energy flows through us now. Surrender and receive those gifts. Yes. And Mother Mary. So yes, so this is also the week of self-care. So getting ready for Valentine's Day means we prepare our heart, our body, and our minds for love, our spiritual beingness for love. Mother Mary comes because she wants you to know you are connected to the divine, and it's time to rest, time to rejuvenate, regenerate, Wow. So that's just a clip from the weekly miracle report, which is also right there in that link below for the Untamed, the Miracle Makers Club. I also have a 5-day challenge, which I think is pretty juicy. And in the next few weeks, I'm going to be doing a few more live things. And the next class on the agenda is going to be soul awakening. Really, how do you awaken up your soul? How do you live the life of your dreams? So I'd be so honored if you actually joined the site. There's other co-creators who are even better than me. And sometimes I think I'm pretty good. All right. I think you're pretty good too. Next week, guys, I'm going to talk to you about how to be a saint. Okay. So when the saints go marching in, when you come marching in and you join that angel brigade, I would play it for you tonight, but I think I'm going to wait till next week. So who are those saints and angels? You are those saints and angels, and how to become that who you know you are is going to be our theme for next week. All right. So join me at 7:00 on Monday. Share me with your friends. I no longer want to be kept a secret. I actually want to be a star. I've put out my intentions. You guys make sure on the new moon, you set your intentions, because next week I'm going to look at them. I'm going to ask you to put down those intentions for us so we can collaborate as the Miracle Makers Club. All right. guys, I am so honored that you joined me. I see some of you week after week, and I love you. I just want you to know I'm going to do everything that I can to help you walk the miracle path. See you all next week.